Good evening and thank you. Some of you have reached out to me over the last several weeks, reminding me that I really need to hear and take in what people have to say about this evening. Let me just say that one of the key lessons of working with the Israel Policy Forum and navigating the complexities of the Middle East is the need to develop a keen sense of listening. So rest assured, I am deeply honored at the outpouring of affection and recognition expressed by your presence at this event, and I gratefully acknowledge your message of thanks. I feel deeply the appreciation to all of you, Ambassador Shapiro, former Ambassador Kurtzer, Generals Allen and Reshef. Thank you all for being here this evening. I want to also acknowledge specifically the founders of IPF who are here, Michael Sonnenfeld, Jack Bendheim, former President Judy Peck, former board members Karen Adler, Susie and Jeff Stern, Marcia Rickless, Debbie Wasserman. Thank you for your vision way back in the early 90s, for walking the walk, whether with IPF or other organizations, through so many years. In particular, I'm gratified that we have here this evening our founding spirit, Jonathan Jacoby, and our founding policy analyst, Stephen P. Cohn. Both here tonight, both set the vision and the rigor of our organization that remain foundational to our activity. Thank you to the IPF board and staff, particularly David Halpern, who has walked many, many miles in this journey with me together. And to everyone who helped tonight make tonight so wonderful. To those in the room who work every day to enrich the connection between Israel and the American community, to my many teachers, my friends, and my family. Have I left anybody out? My involvement with the Israel Policy Forum has been a deep intersection of my American Jewish identity and my personal interest in politics and international affairs. Living in an increasingly secular and pluralistic America, my own idiosyncratic engagement with Israel in all its dimensions has become a keystone of my own personal communal connection. The narratives of the myriad people engaged in envisioning a Jewish state from a political, diplomatic, philosophical, technological, commercial standpoint have inspired me to wrestle with my own connection to Judaism and its foundational values. My deepest and warmest relationships, including with many of you who are here this evening, have been developed from this community of learning and engagement. After having experienced some pretty lonely moments along the way, I take great pride in today's Israel Policy Forum, the quality and commitment of its board, the vitality of its programs, and the strength and importance of its organizational partnerships. Yet, as I hand the leadership over to the very able and energetic Susie Gelman, I can hardly take pride in the current state of the relationship between Israel and its Palestinian neighbors. In the wake of the recent election here in the U.S., there is no policy organization that is not taking stock and rethinking its role in the political firmament. If I may, I'd like to make a few brief observations which I will hope will inform this discussion for IPF going forward. First, the Israel Policy Forum has always positioned itself as a principled, analytic, and objective promoter of the two-state solution as the only response to Israel's long-term dream to live as a secure Jewish and democratic state in the Middle East. By maintaining an institutional integrity and remaining steadfast in its vision, IPF is a bit of a bellwether as we apply our core principles to an ever-changing political landscape, whether the daily machinations of Israel's coalition politics, the evolution of tensions within the Arab world, the geopolitical conflicts played out at the UN, or a watershed U.S. election. Those who eye us with skepticism generally focus on considerations other than pragmatic but tough diplomatic creativity, which is needed to reconcile two competing national aspirations. IPF has been unique in listening to these other concerns and feeling and expressing an emotional empathy, particularly now when public sentiment is calling out for change and our politics is moving rapidly and toxically to the extreme. IPF has a vital role in representing a muscular center and by setting a proactive, problem-solving agenda. Secondly, as you've heard this evening, uncharacteristically for Jewish organizations, IPF is capable of checking its ego at the door and has demonstrated the benefits of partnering with other organizations, as you've heard this evening, the Commanders for Israel Security and the Center for New American Security in Washington. When it became increasingly apparent that security concerns are of paramount importance to any serious political discourse about Israel, IPF sought out the expertise of General Reshef, General Allen, to respond to these concerns. The mutual respect with which IPF, the Commanders, and the Center for New American Security have operated, largely, I should say, credited to the skills of David Halperin, are a model for like-minded NGOs to come together in the name of common goals. Perhaps other seeming roadblocks to peace, such as Palestinian political and economic viability, warrant a search for similar institutional partnerships. In any event, I aspire for an IPF that stands ready to act as a convener, a partner, or just a fly on the wall if it can serve to advance its vision for Israel. Thirdly, I think it may be time for the progressive American Jewish community to make political aliyah by taking a more focused and active role in effecting change in Israel. We all have a huge stake in Israel as a democratic state, and yet American confidence in Israeli policymaking has been undermined by the horse-trading nature of Israeli coalition politics, resulting in the alienation of many American Jews from the state of Israel, particularly the next generation. I don't underestimate the challenge of what I'm suggesting. Israelis often respond viscerally to a perception of undue influence from a judgmental and perhaps even disdainful American Jewish political elite. But here again, I believe IPF has a special role to play because its commitment to the state of Israel is rock solid, and its critiques come solely from a place of love and concern. With sensitivity to public perception, IPF must develop and nurture relationships with institutional partners, such as those represented here tonight by our guests Nimrod Novick, Rabbi Michael Melchior, and Dr. Kobi Huberman. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Anat Hoffman, who's not exactly within our sweet spot, but also deserves some acknowledgement and recognition. Only by prudently supporting and encouraging elements in Israeli society that share our vision and concerns can we hope to help jolt Israel's liberal wing out of what has been called its lethargic death spiral and spur it into rejoining the battle for the soul of the Jewish state. Recent electoral events here in the United States have moved us to consider whether there is a future for reason in our politics and how to bring it back. The populism we are witnessing, both right and left, reflects a failure to listen to real grievances from real people in an increasingly fast-changing world. We face the future in great peril if we do not remedy that failure by advancing a tone of respect, truth, and hope. So, I invite you again to come back to the theme of listening, to listen to the political erudition of Ambassador Dan Shapiro, listen to the security expertise and admire the service of General John Allen. Listen even to your inner thoughts as you tour this beautiful venue, perhaps contemplate an original copy of Luther's 95 Theses, and appreciate the power of ideas to move people. Thank you very much.